People, Deluded, I'm back again. Really no point of this video or anything in focus, but I think a couple of things are surfacing in relation to Arsenal. And Jack Wilshere, now if you know me, you know me, like I'm an Arsenal fan. Jack Wilshere is potentially not in my top 5 favourite Arsenal players. You've got Thierry Henry, you've got Patrick Vieira, you've got several others. But when you look past the Invincibles, Wilshere would be up there for me. I've got a massive affiliation to Jack Wilshere for a number of reasons. Obviously, as someone that loves youth talent and things like that, I was doing this in school. I used to, like I've told you, I never used to advocate bunking school and things, but the one time I used to leave school or, you know, duck and dive was when Wilshere and the Arsenal lads were playing in the FA Youth Cup and things like that, and youth games in particular, especially down at the old Barnet. So it was easy to love Jack Wilshere, and obviously he's a terrific player, man. He's got a, let's be honest, man, we know, sadly, when you mention Jack Wilshere, and for the rest of his life, really, the word injuries follows him and failed potential and things. But, you know, he was a technically lovely footballer. Teenage Jack Wilshere was up there with some of the best teenage wonder kids in the world, just in terms of his teenage playing days. Absolute baller. Spanish technique, English heart, like Arsene Wenger said. He had it all. Should have went on to be our captain in an ideal world and play for England and be a real hallmark for England. And on the surface, you know, he's been a West Ham / Arsenal fan. He's played for both of them. He's played for his country. He's won FA Cups. These are things, when you look at stuff in a general basis, many footballers do not get this. So he's been a top level footballer. Again, failed in terms of there's not been potential realised there. Even if I'm honest, when fit, at Arsenal, there was a time where you say everybody fit. Jack Wilshere maybe won't be in the starting 11. So there was that case. Obviously, I'd say excluding this year, but probably his last 2 years at Arsenal, I definitely felt last 2 years in between this, like the season, was it? It could have been the season or the end of the season towards the following year when he went to Bournemouth, and then them 2 other seasons beyond that, so a 4-year window with sandwiched in between the Bournemouth one. I think his fitness, I won't say it was perfect, he was having injuries, but he was definitely, by his own standards, he was being fully fit and things like that. And it must suck, it hurts at your pride, and he must have had to fight depression and things, seeing everyone saying you got glass ankles, knowing yourself you want to play and things. It hasn't worked out. And I mean, he said his move to West Ham hasn't worked out. The move in 2018 hasn't worked out. And I mean, on one hand, Wilshere, you got to look at it. You secured a 3-year deal. You secured decent finances. You're playing in the Prem. So at the end of the day, your future is secured. But from a footballing perspective, it's difficult to hear it, man. It brings a tear almost to me, really. He rejected our offer. You know, he was snapped up on a 3-year deal. He's only made 16 appearances for them during his spell there. He's now 28, and you know, when you name Jack Wilshere, you can't really name anything of significance in his last couple of years at Arsenal or just as a footballer. He's had a couple good goals that were match of the day winners when the voting thing used to happen, but he's not really done anything, and it sucks, people. And he has said, it hasn't worked out for me, I'll be honest. It hasn't gone the way I wanted it to. I've missed too much football. I haven't played enough games. I want to get back on track, get my career back on track, get playing games week in, week out, and start to feel like a footballer again. The last couple of years have been frustrating. I obviously started my career really well at Arsenal. I was enjoying it. I was loving it, almost taking it for granted. Then I picked up an injury, and I started to understand my body, started to understand that this happens in football. I enjoyed my time at Arsenal, and obviously when I went to Bournemouth, I had a good year but picked up another injury. I came back, was told that I could leave, but I managed to stay and fight my way back into the team and had a good year. Then I made the decision to leave and join West Ham. And it's sad, man. I mean, I would like him back, but realistically it wouldn't be the best option. And, you know, I really liked Wilshere in his last year, and he was told he was allowed to leave, and he stayed, and he fought for his career, people. And I think that was command of him. I do think Wilshere, when I look back at that Bournemouth period, I think he forgot how good he is, and I think he stopped to back himself, and I do think he needed an arm around him that we couldn't provide, because he was scared of Xhaka and El Nene, because I remember him mentioning that a midfielder came in the summer and another one came in January or whatever. And I mean, if you're scared of El Nene, then you really should have left permanently. And it's sad, man, but you know what? I do think in life, so as harsh as it is, certain things are just meant to happen, you know, like, you're not meant, like, certain men are not meant to win Champions League. World-class players might not win a World Cup, win a Champions League, win this, win that, you get it? It might not happen for some men. I think as fans, and I'm not saying the perception is different from the reality, Wilshere's a different case, but I do think when you look at some players, the perception and the expectation, it can be different. Maybe this was always the story that the universe planted for Wilshere, that you was just going to be this. Again, even with the injuries, as harsh as it is, you was just going to be a Premier League footballer. You wasn't going to go on and be this, that and the other. Do you get it? I don't necessarily believe all of that, but it's a difficult one, man. It's a really difficult one to take because, again, he's what in terms of ability and quality, there's few better than him in that English, but sadly he's not been able to put a run of games together, and he will still be remembered by Arsenal, but he could have given a lot more to Arsenal, really and truly, and been a part of something a bit more for Arsenal people. It really could have been different. And I believe Kim Kelstrong has been speaking as well, people, in relation to his move to Arsenal. He offered a lot of things in relation to Arsenal. He spoke of playing with quality players. He spoke of when the move happened for him as well, which I would say this, people. He was asked, I believe they were in Dubai. His team, Spartak Moscow, were in Dubai when the move happened, so he only had one suitcase and had to tell his wife to come. But when his agent first bringing him, he said, "Do you want to go to the Premier League?" He said, "No, not really." He said, "It would be fun to play in the Premier League, but I'm not so interested in a loan. I have family, and at the time, everyone was settled in Moscow. We were very happy there and loving life, living in Russia." His agent again said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Yeah, I'm sure. I'm going to stay until the summer. Then we'll see what happens." He was then called 10 minutes again, and he said, "Are you sure you don't want to go? They're really eager to sign you on loan. I told them I don't want to stay there." Then 1 hour later, the phone rings again. He said he was starting to get annoyed. He said, "You sure you don't want to go?" He said, to which he replied, "Please stop calling me. I don't want to go." Then the fatal words, "It's Arsenal." He said, "Okay, I can go." To which, yeah, big up Kim Kelstrong, especially for that penalty, people. And he said, "I saw how professional Arteta is. He's so committed to the game and so engaged with it as well. I learned a lot just from watching him." On the FA Cup semi-final, he said, "People always ask me why I was smiling on the walk. Apparently nobody smiles when they take that walk. But you have to understand, I was not meant to take that penalty for Arsenal at Wembley. But I did, I scored, we won." Which is terrific, man. You can't put it into words. He said, "I see the fans who joke on the internet about my time here, but I think it's quite fun. There's a lot of players who have done a lot more for Arsenal than me, but then at the same time, there are players who have done a lot less in a lot more time." And when you look at that, he was here for a second. He might not have played that much, but he won the FA Cup. He's still remembered to some degree by fans, even on a banter thing. He takes that. That's something to tell the grandkids. Simply, people, really, really and truly, there's nothing more to say on that front, people. Martinez has said that he, apparently speaking to TNT Sports, has revealed that he thinks about his boyhood club Independiente, and adds that he could see himself returning to the Argentinian club in the next 2 or 3 years. He's 27, he'll be 30, 31, he'll be 29, 30 by then. If that's what he wants to do, then, we can't begrudge him for that, and we potentially need to look for another player. Aaron Ramsey was speaking as well, people. I'm not going to go over all of them, but in relation to his time at Arsenal, he spoke about leaving Arsenal. He said, "That was tough. I wasn't prepared for that. I couldn't control my emotions. I spent 11 years here. I grew up there, been married, had my kids, been through so much on and off the field there. Arsenal means so much to me and always will." On the FA Cup final, he said, against Chelsea, "That was mad. Chelsea had just won the league as well. No one had given us a chance because we hadn't done well in the league. But we were so determined to get our hands on that trophy, and we left it all on the pitch that day." And he keeps referring to us as we, which is bringing a tear to my eye. He said, "Everyone, including teachers, would say I wouldn't make it, but I was just so driven to achieve my goal as a professional footballer." On the injury to Stoke, he said, against Stoke, the fateful one that changed his career for better or worse, or is a significant talking point. He said, "I was fearing for my career. I was just 19 at the time. I broke my tibia and fibula." And I think he's done very well to play. And obviously, again, I don't know if because this injury, I don't know when he plays if he still feels some discomfort, if there's still some ongoing stuff that he's going with that. But on the surface, as a fan, you wouldn't know. If you didn't know who Aaron Ramsey was at 19 and you just seen him play in his mid-20s for Arsenal, you wouldn't have thought he had that injury, which is great, and it's showing he can come back from it. Because sadly, another midfielder that I've just spoken about, Jack Wilshere, for whatever reason, hasn't really been able to get over these injuries, and that's the theme of Wilshere. It's about getting fit, playing a couple of games, getting injured again. And I will praise Wilshere for his resilience and his mentality, because it can't be easy. It must be a dark place with the injuries he's had, and that's why I genuinely believe he'll make a good manager. I think the fact that he's not really been able to fulfil as much as he could at this club, and just as a footballer and at a top level, I think that will give him potential drive to be a solid manager within the game. But if he wants to do that and things. Allegedly, El Nene is still wanted for another season on loan by Besiktas. We'll have to see what that one brings up, people. But for now, I've got nothing more to add. People, deluded. I'm out.